Welcome, everyone. I'm Danielle Patterson, CEO of Family Office Access, and I appreciate you joining today's masterclass. I'm thrilled to welcome our guest, Papi, PJ DiNuzzo, founder of Papi Mindset Coach and DiNuzzo Wealth Management. PJ helps people move from profit to purpose, pairing wealth mastery with mindset so families can pass on values as well as assets. His firm serves clients across the US with more than 1 billion in AUM, and his work and books have been featured by outlets like Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Bloomberg Businessweek, Forbes, USA Today, Barron's, the Financial Times. It goes on and on. He is especially passionate about serving underserved communities, single parent households, and women and children in need. And I could go on, but I want to make as much time for us to impart his wisdom today. We're so honored to have you here, Papi. Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful, wonderful audience, Danielle. Thank you so much. And I've been in the audience a number of times, and I want to thank you for putting together so many great presentations, wonderful guests. I say namaste, my wonderful fellow brothers and sisters, especially Danielle Madison and Kim for putting this together. Thank all of you so much. The spirit of me greets the spirit in you. So thank you so much for having me today.
Amazing. I love you've already raised our vibration. And I mentioned as everyone was joining just how much I've been enjoying the How to Manifest book and that you have it in audio. I listen to it in the car and my children, and it helps me remember how important gratitude and starting the day with the right mindset. So thank you and for bringing that energy to today's conversation. So I love one of the things that you say, and I just want to set the foundation here. It's stuck with me, and I want to impart this with our audience. You've shared that most people die in their 20s, but aren't buried until their 80s. Can you elaborate, share what you mean by this?
Yes, and to remove any morbid content from that, this is just really speaking from a level of consciousness. If we take a look, Danielle, and you say happy is one of the most elusive words, and you see so much research, success. If you're happy, you're successful, everything else. I would suggest to the audience, and that's all I offer today is suggestions. I come from a perspective of 100% pure spirituality. I see neutral as to religion. I'm neutral as to governments. I'm neutral as to politics, politicians, neutral to everything. I'm coming to you today talking about pure energy, spirit, and power, 100% neutral. And when we take a look at our fellow brothers and sisters, the most direct correlation I would offer to the audience for happiness, the highest correlation is your level of consciousness, your level of consciousness. And that's what I'm going to talk about today is raising your level of consciousness, your individual level of consciousness, and the aggregate overall level of consciousness, the macro level of consciousness between us and all of our fellow brothers and sisters. What the universe says to me, Danielle, is Papi, why I'm here on earth, what my mission is, why I was sent here, however you want to phrase it, is to raise this level of consciousness. Again, I don't talk about religion. I am just going to suggest to your audience that the kingdom is truly within you. And we'll talk today about there's a lot of our brothers and sisters, and I've met great contacts through your organization, Danielle, who are on a pay it forward mentality. Like, Papi, I want to work with you. Like, I've got special projects in Africa. How can we pay this forward? My target audience is the 4 billion plus fellow brothers and sisters of ours who are living off of less than $5 per day. That's my target audience. How I get there is through the profit side to have fuel to go in the engine to help this work. But most of our brothers and sisters, truthfully, Danielle, give up before they reach their 30th birthday. They have failure after failure. They're not happy with themselves, and they give up all hope, all aspiration, and are almost just on autopilot for the rest of their life. So that's what I'm here for, to shine universal light on our fellow brothers and sisters to awaken this creative power, to awaken them this creative power to be able to manifest anything they can imagine. 97 out of 100 of our fellow brothers and sisters are not, I'll put it politely, are not getting a good grade on their report card. They're not manifesting. And manifesting, Danielle, people get hung up on that word.
Yeah.
Manifesting is just a fancy word for create.
Okay.
Just a fancy word for create. We all have the power within us to create. Now, there's a fork in the road. It depends on which road you want to take. You're going down a highway and it splits off. And you see the big green and white sign up on one side, it says 3D. You see the sign up on the other side, it says 5D. That 3D highway, that's why I'm here. My why is my Polish grandma Anna, who came over from the ghettos of Warsaw, Poland. my Italian grandma Rose, who came over from the slums of Naples, Italy, and my mother Phyllis. That's my why, because I know how they were treated. My Italian grandma dropped out of school in third grade to swing a sledgehammer, thought she was going to die in a stone quarries outside of Naples, Italy. And Danielle, your listeners already, our wonderful brothers and sisters here, have heard more wonderful information about what's possible than they did in their combined close to 250 plus whatever years on earth. They thought my grandfathers both came to Pittsburgh here and worked in these steel mills for over 40 years. You want to make more money, your mind's on a 3D highway. I am going to have to work that 6th day in a week, that 7th day a week. I'm going to work over. I'm going to work 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week. I'm here to suggest you, my fellow brothers and sisters, one of the main affirmations I do up when I wake up in the morning, and hopefully we can talk a little bit about today, because we know we want to win our day. When do we win our day? We win it if we win our morning. When do we win our morning? My fellow brothers and sisters, a waking ritual. When you very first begin to wake up in the morning, when I very first wake up, I'm thinking affirmations, intentions, prayers, whatever it may be, because whatever you think is what starts the process. I am so happy, grateful now that if you can think it in your mind, you can and will hold it in your hand. So I would suggest you, my brothers and sisters, start to control your day. The most powerful force in the universe is your thought. Everything on earth is created twice. First in my mind, or Danielle's, or Madison's, or Kim's, one of our 8 billion plus brothers and sisters, and then the physical object back of it is completed. I would suggest you wake up in the morning. I am so happy and grateful now. Today is the greatest day of my life. I'm so happy and grateful now. Today is the most magnificent day of my life. I am so happy and grateful now that I have created my masterpiece today. All we have, my brothers and sisters, I will offer to you. People say to me, Papi, I'm not manifesting. Half of our fellow brothers and sisters are looking to the side and are looking at the past, and they're complaining about the past. And I talked to our brothers and sisters, Danielle, talking to a gentleman not too long ago. He's like, Papi, this gentleman's middle-aged. And he's like, Papi, he starts da-da-da-da. My football coach, he did me dirty in 9th grade. I should have been a starting quarterback. I'm like, brother, this is decades and decades ago. He's looking at the past, complaining, criticizing, all these negatives. You will never manifest anything that you want if you're looking in the past. You also never complain. The other half of our fellow brothers says you'll never manifest if you're anxious and worried and fearful about the future. I suggest you, my brothers and sisters, this universe is eternally grounded in the present. I say get your elbows right up against your rib cage like 2 karate chops, and you want to live right here in the present. This universe is eternally grounded in the present. You must and always speak in the present. Now, the most powerful force that you have on earth is the thought in your mind. Unfortunately, Danielle, way too many of our fellow brothers and sisters are giving this powerful force away. There's external, the weather report, social media, the news, a parent, a brother or sister, a peer, co-worker, social media, whatever it is coming at them. And our conscious mind is here to protect our subconscious mind. If there's one thing our brothers and sisters get turned and say, Papi, I didn't know my subconscious mind. 95% of what you accomplish on earth, my brothers and sisters, is accomplished in your subconscious mind. The most important image I've ever seen in my entire life, Danielle, if the audience can bear with me, think I've got like a magic sort of white magic marker at my fingertip, draw a big circle around my head with a horizontal line through the middle, and put a C here on top for the conscious mind, an SC for the subconscious mind, a little line down, a smaller circle with a B on it for my body, a line up on each side for arms, a line down each side for legs. If I ask our brothers and sisters, what do you think your mind is? 99% Papi, I think it's my brain. Well, our brain's no more of our mind than our nose or our toes are. It is these 3 key elements working in harmony: our conscious mind, our subconscious mind, and our body. Now, the bottom half of this circle, the bowl I call it, that is where 95% of what you accomplish on earth is accomplished. You want to understand, where is it at? How do I work with that? So the 2 times we're closest to our subconscious mind, and the reason why, when I'm just 10% awake in the morning, first starting to wake up, I'm doing intentions, affirmations, I'm saying a prayer or something, thinking about it, and the secret sauce is emotions and feelings. I am controlling my day from that very first moment, my first thought in my head. No TV, no social media, no looking at nothing on my phone, no technology around. And you want to own that space, your waking ritual. You also want to own your sleeping ritual right before you go to sleep at night. Thomas Edison credited the way that he went to sleep at night, the way that he accessed his subconscious mind, with how he created the majority of the patents. And his nickname was the inventor. So that's pretty powerful. That's how he credited the majority of his patents with the way that he went to sleep at night and accessed his subconscious mind. So thank you so much for a great opener, a great door opening, Danielle. Thank you so much.
Oh, that, I mean, it means so much to me. I am visual, so I appreciate that you're painting us this picture. And actually, I practice a lot of what you preach, but I need reminder of how important it is daily. This is my everyday I write down, and up my North Star in the top is what I'm grateful for, what my prayers are. And I like having that daily routine. Again, it's exactly like what you say. It sets the tone, it sets the intention, and it's nice, we forget, we fall into our old habits. Like you said, there's so much noise, there's so much coming at us. But I made my husband a bracelet and I love it. And inside is inscribed, run the day or the day runs you. And it's a choice. And I love the way you've set the foundation. So tell us, in this world of family offices we work in, I know there's a lot in the audience, a lot that advise and work with. How does this work, especially kind of help the world of family offices?
Yep. Yes, Danielle, there's sort of two pathways. And if the audience members want to think of sort of what I have under one roof is sort of a for-profit business and a non-profit business, so to speak. So I've been blessed. I started with $0 in 1989, and I've grown. I've registered an RIA practice, registered investment advisory practice. I started with $0 in 1989, and we are currently, as of right now, over $1.1 billion. And I've grown this entire practice 100% organically. Out of 35,000 firms in the country, we're probably in like the 1/100th of 1% who started with zero and grew 100% organically. No mergers, acquisitions, no tuck-ins, fold-ins, advisors with anything. And on top of that, Danielle, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I'm sort of halfway between Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Youngstown, Ohio. So I'm out in the middle of nowhere. So I've manifested all through the law of attraction, which we'll get to in just a second. So the other half is the nonprofit, so to speak, side, and that's all under DiNuzzo Wealth Management, paying it forward. So that's all about paying it forward. I tried paying it forward years and years ago by teaching financial classes, and I'm in inner cities. Like, Papi, you don't understand. They're going to shut my electric off tomorrow. Like, I can't really even save anything. I can't. So I went even more to the core. And what's beautiful about accessing the kingdom that's within each of our fellow brothers and sisters, the power that each one of us has, even the least among us, is that it doesn't cost anything. Doesn't cost anything. It's the power of your mind. If you can think it in your mind, you can and will hold it in your hand. So my brothers and sisters, anything you think about and you apply emotion to, if you really, 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 really want it, you are going to get it. Also, if you really, 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 really don't want it, you are going to get it as well. The law of attraction, manifesting is a fancy word for creating, and attraction is just a fancy word for thinking that you're a magnet. Like attracts like. You're a magnet. You put out negative. Buddha said a long time ago, we'll quote Buddha instead of Papi, you will become what you think. You'll become what you think. You'll attract what you feel, and you'll create what you imagine. When he said you'll attract what you feel, these are the vibrations, literally frequencies coming out of us, our subconscious mind, out of our body. Our body is an instrument of our mind. That's what our brothers and sisters and so many of your audience members, they're biased to the good side. They're thinking positive so much. When you're around successful people, Danielle, you hear very little negative conversations. If you're around someone who's sick a lot, you hear them talking about illness a lot. I say, man, when I was talking to them a year ago, it was like a problem with their ear. Then it was their back the last time I heard. Then it was their knee. And we're drawing this in. There is to be no fear, no worry, no doubt. There is to be no anger. There's to be no violence. There's to be none of these negative things that we're used to. We truly hold this key inside of us. So what I have is sort of two businesses conflated together. There's a historic legacy wealth management practice, and I've devoted the rest of my life, once I cracked the code on this, so to speak, regarding manifesting and the law of attraction, I devoted the rest of my life to paying this forward, to helping my fellow brothers and sisters. That's why I'm here. That's my purpose. That's my mission. That's what I'm here for today and every day for the rest of my life.
Gosh, well, we are honored that you are sharing that wisdom and enriching our community right now as we listen. And one of our other amazing Family Office Access members, Kate, if you haven't met Kate, Papi, she's amazing. She asked, could you share how you stay in the spirit of what you're creating and stay away from the mechanical to-do lists or have-tos? It's a great question, Kate.
Yes. Thank you so much, Kate. Thank you. What the point that I state is, and the universe has reminded me over and over again, Danielle, that we can manifest anything at any time. But to be honest, I use that on a lot of your audience members, maybe heard like the 10,000 hour rule, that if you get into a new field, it's going to take you around 10,000 hours until like you're sort of really good at it or an expert, etc. So I just like to manage expectations. But if we can just think this is really more, it's not like a silver bullet or waving a magic wand. It's really about a couple of things. It's about developing a manifesting lifestyle and understand that you're on a manifesting journey. So what happens first and foremost, Danielle, is I've been talking a lot about how powerful your thoughts are. So let's just look at our fellow brothers and sisters. During the course of the day, we human beings have up to 60,000 thoughts per day, up to 60,000. The average human being, independent if they have 20,000, 40,000, 60,000, the average human being, 80% of their thoughts are negative and 90% are recurring. You say, wait, Papi said a little bit ago, I'm a magnet. Whatever I put out is going to come back. For every 5 thoughts our brothers and sisters are having, 4 are negative. Papi, why do I have all this negativity in my life? So what I say is, can you get 1% better? So Kate, audience members, can you get 1% better today? And I already see folks nodding their heads. Yeah, I get 1% better. So just think of the average human being for 100 thoughts, 80, the super majority of that stack are negative. Can you have just 79 negative thoughts out of your next 100? Not 80, just 79. And the average brother says, yeah, Papi, I can do that. So let's take it to 78. Now, once we start chopping down the negative stack, let's start increasing the positive stack. And my fellow brothers and sisters, the most exciting thing on earth is all these universal laws. And hopefully I'll get a chance to talk a little bit about them today. But thank goodness this universe was created under one of the ones that's my favorite. And a lot of our entrepreneur friends on today, the universal law of increase. Hallelujah for the universal law of increase. But boom, boom, boom. This universe has been growing for over 13 billion years, beyond our wildest comprehension. And when we hear the heartbeat of the universe, bump, 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 bump. Now, we're human beings. We're eternal, ethereal, endless, spiritual beings having a limited physical experience. So human beings at some point in time, hey, when's the last heartbeat? So the universe, you hear that bump, bump. It's like, was it going to beat again? When it takes that pause, we as human beings, what that is to us, we're presented with a problem, a challenge, or an obstacle. And that's what we call it. I don't want to think of them those way, but human beings will say, I have a problem, I have a challenge, I have an obstacle. Unfortunately, human beings need prodded to move forward. So the universe sort of has a system. That is how most progress occurs, through solving problems and challenges and obstacles. Now, when you solve that, if you can start to think, when I get a problem or challenge, one of the things I coach is every time you get a problem or challenge or something comes out of left field, say, that's good. That's good. Because that is how you move forward. So the universe has guaranteed me, Danielle, every single time, Papi, there's an answer and a solution in every problem. It's literally in there. The universe is not just giving us that. They've got the answer. So I say, that's a gold nugget. So you start to get excited. Hey, this is how I'm moving forward. I'm jumping into things. I have challenges. I solve them. Man, I'm going forward. Now, once every now and again, instead of a gold nugget, you're going to find a big diamond inside of there. When you look in here and say, that's good, I'm looking into this, I know I'm going to solve this problem or challenge. When you see that gold diamond and find it, that's a quantum leap forward. So you will just not have incremental increases. You have quantum leaps forward. You're able to 10x your life. If someone out there is making $40,000 a year, what I want to do is I call it a faith goal. Get our conscious mind, our stinking thinking out of the way. Mr. Stupid, Dolores Cannon called our conscious mind. When it's on top, get that out of the way. Get into this rich treasure of our subconscious mind. And let's take your $40,000 annual income and make that a $40,000 monthly income. Something only your subconscious mind can accomplish. That's what we're able to do with Faith 10X goals. You can do this in your business. And I just mentioned, Danielle, that goals are to grow. They're not to get. So I like to be clear about that. This isn't about like Scrooge McDuck. Like I want to be Scrooge McDuck in the basement with all my gold coins and I'm swimming in my gold coins. Now, there was a young gentleman who I taught from Kenya, and he contacted me about a year later. Somebody says, Papi, he says, I finally know what I want, what my Faith 10X goal is, my real big goal. And I said, Titus, what is it, brother? He said, I'm going to be a billionaire. I said, well, Titus, that's quite aspirational. I said, would you mind if I offered you a suggestion to just put a little bit more of a fine edge on that? He said, sure, Papi, go ahead. I said, what if you change your goal to, I'm going to deliver $1 billion in value to my fellow brothers and sisters. That's what we want to do. You'll have your $1 billion, but let's deliver $1 billion. Let's deliver value to our fellow brothers and sisters. We come here first and foremost to love ourselves, and second, to love our fellow brothers and sisters. Third, to do no harm. Now, just think about the news, Danielle. I try to listen to it as little as possible.
Yeah.
How much of that are we hearing on the news? Loving yourself, love your fellow brothers and sisters, and do no harm. That's what we're here for. So it's about that manifesting lifestyle, and you get a little better every day, chopping down the negative, increasing the positive. And then one day, I can guarantee you will walk into a new self, a new faith. When I say faith, it's just faith in yourself. It's not a religious faith. Faith in yourself, belief in everything external to you, how this universe is created, that you can manifest and you can imagine, just walk into a life you never, ever would have ever dreamed of.
What a journey. And when you break it down, just 1%, we can do that. I
That's it,
happily, I'll
1%.
give you those 80 negative thoughts a day, or 80%, and love
Yes.
to see the shift. Yeah, and I'm sure is the journey and the time it takes each individual different in those that you've worked with and helped coach?
Yeah, it's different. And one thing I'm thinking also, Matt, Danielle, from the real big picture is to just get the brothers and sisters here today have taken their valuable time. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. But to help get your mind in the right area code, everything with me started with Think and Grow Rich. So a lot of our audience members have probably heard of this book. Most of them have read it. So over 200 million of our fellow brothers and sisters have purchased this book. Over 400 million have read this book. So this is where it started. And then this is going forward, my book, Manifesting That You Can Imagine. So I just offer suggestions. This started with Andrew Carnegie, who through no coincidence came here from Scotland, came here to Pittsburgh, my hometown, with just a shirt on his back. And he grows a net worth over hundreds and hundreds. He's still considered one of the top 5 entrepreneurs in the history of the United States. Grows a net worth to hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars in today's money. Andrew says, he told me, Papi says, I woke up one day and he said, I thought I was having a heart attack. I found that it was a panic attack because I realized I was getting up in age. I had accomplished everything on earth by manifesting to the law of attraction. And they don't teach it in any colleges, no universities, there's no books and nothing. So he said, I dedicated the rest of my life to getting the word out. I interviewed a couple dozen authors, and he gives all this information to Napoleon Hill. So that's what Andrew did with this information. Yeah. Napoleon Hill writes Think and Grow Rich, 200 million purchases, 400 million folks who have read it, brothers and sisters. He hands the torch off to Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale gets older. He hands it off to a young gentleman by the name of Bob Proctor. Bob just passed away a few years ago, and the torch has been passed and handed off to me. I hope there's dozens, hundreds of other brothers and sisters, but there's a direct lineage, and that's what I'm here for, to shine this universal light and share this message. And I would just say, Danielle, I come from like a wealth background, like where I've made a name for myself, so to speak, and a lot of your audience has. But I would just let everyone know, when I'm approached by brothers and sisters and they say, Papi, can you please help me manifest? And when you fill in that blank, the top 3 requests are health, wealth, and love. Health. So very little, as I say, health, wealth, love, happiness, relationships, experiences, spirituality. Wealth is just a small part of this. Again, we all need enough to pay the bills and live our lives, but it's physical health, mental wellness, love. I want to get married. I want a partner in my life. I want a significant other, whatever it is. So just to let the audience know, this isn't just like pure finance. Most of our fellow brothers and sisters, their number one faith 10X goal that they want to accomplish is not initially, at least, a direct financial goal.
Fascinating. Wow. Well, and for those, hold up your book again. This is just, it's fantastic. And like I said, I love that you have it on the audio. So we'll share more with that in our follow-up tomorrow. But I love just that you make this practice that can seem daunting and we can fall out of habit. You just make it really practical. And you reference, and hopefully you can share with everyone, the HWL, HR, and S. And can you elaborate and tell how families can really use them to check their progress towards a best life?
Yes, I'm just making a little note here because I'm very visually oriented. So what I ask what I ask anyone to do is just mark down a piece of paper, just the initials it's for health, wealth, love, happiness, relationships, and spirituality. And just next to that, just give yourself a grade, just a letter grade. I'm old school, so I think A, B, C, D, F, but just give yourself a grade. And I say, if you give yourself a grade on all of those and they're an A+, you don't need to listen to Papi. You're in the wrong place. But you were brought here for a reason. Your subconscious mind had a conversation with my subconscious mind and Danielle's and other elements involved which brought you in to listen today. Not a coincidence that you're here. It never is. And what most of our brothers and sisters realize is, yeah, I've been here on earth for 20 years, 40 years, 60 years, 80 years or more. And I'm not happy with my grades. Well, it's never too late to get started. I'm talking to brothers and sisters who are over 80 years of age. We're working on one of those main categories. And then I go through, and you hit the nail on the head, Danielle. What I've done is take all this wonderful information, and there's a lot of geniuses out there. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe, for example, if you think of a string, like a line from the ceiling down to the floor, at that point of impact, at that point of inflection, that's where Dr. Joe's at. He could tell you what goes on your body, the synapses, the chemical, this happens here, this triggers that. I mean, he's an expert at all that. I'm coming from the very top of it from a perspective of spirituality, just so the audience knows where I'm coming from. So we can manifest anything we can imagine. It's more complex. I tell folks, and I'm just being honest, a lot of men want to figure this out more than men. They're like, Papi, I need to figure this out.
Yeah.
If all information about the universe was placed in front of us, the average human being, if they lived 10 lifetimes, couldn't even begin to figure out close to 1%. This universe is more complex than you could ever imagine. So just to put that out there, this isn't something you're going to figure out. But these universal laws, we are all in the game of life. And I would suggest that you're not going to be successful in any game unless you understand what the rules are. You live in a thought world within a thought universe, and these universal laws are the rules of the game. So I talk about those an awful lot as well.
We've got another really great conversation or question from the audience.
Yes.
And it's basically really wanting to learn from you, your lived wisdom. And we want to know, share a story of something that you wanted to manifest and how during your learning journey you gained the strength and wisdom to keep moving forward during that rigorous time.
Yes, it's really, I just manifested. I'm always working on a Faith 10X goal, and I teach just one of those at a time. That's your sole highest focus, is that Faith 10X goal. Then I say you've got 3 to 6 most important experiences every day. You just take 5 minutes at the end of the day, maybe 10, but take 5 minutes, do a review on your day, do a preview on the next day, and then you've got all these mini experiences throughout the day. And we knock those out through intentions. You can control your life. It's not about control, but you can have the life that you desire more than you could ever imagine. So I just basically sort of for forever, every new Faith 10X goal I've had has been bigger than the last because I keep on setting my sights higher, etc. I just accomplished my largest Faith 10X goal. It's like really within days of being culminated, and then I'll be on to my next one. Now, we want to remember, my fellow brothers and sisters, is when we say we die in our 20s, but we're not buried to our 80s, where do most of our dreams go to die? If you want to know, Danielle, they go to our brothers and sisters, our family members, loved ones closest to us.
Wow.
That's where they go to die. You tell someone in your family, and I'm not picking anybody, mom, dad, brother, sister, really close to you. You tell them you've got the greatest idea on earth. You think it's the greatest idea. And what do they say the majority of times? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard of. You're not going to tell anyone else that, are you? Don't even waste money on that. So you have to be very careful to protect your subconscious mind. So I say you keep that to you as much as possible on what your Faith 10X goal is, because they get blown up before they even come into inception, so to speak. So I'm enjoying right now, coming around the bend, my greatest, largest goal on earth, manifesting that. This one took about 5 years. Not that it could take a month, it could take 6, but even if it took 5 years, I remember Dolores Cannon said her number one Faith 10X goal on earth was she wanted her books in bookstores in every continent on earth. And it took 8 years from the time that was her number one Faith 10X goal. Now you could say, oh, that took 8 years. I bet she was very upset or despondent, or that she was the happiest person on earth. Have you ever talked to her? It didn't matter. It took 8 years. That was her number one goal on earth. She was so happy. Her face lit up like the sun anytime she talked about that. So if it takes a year or two, you're on a manifesting journey. Now, what happens is, Danielle, we have our Faith 10X goal, but we've got a mental wellness conveyor belt coming towards us for what our goals are. We have a physical health conveyor belt coming towards us. We have a love, a relationship, a spirituality, experiences. And one of these wonderful experiences you might have thought was going to take 3 years, it gets delivered to you within 3 days or 3 weeks or 3 months. Something else you may think should be here sooner, maybe it takes 2 or 3 years. We control all of this, my fellow brothers and sisters. I can guarantee you everything in your life you've manifested. You look around you, every experience, your entire reality you've manifested. Now I'll give you a real quick one, Danielle. I'm talking the other day, and my brother's got a green thumb, and he could grow anything anywhere. I'm the exact opposite. One blade of grass, too much for me. Can't handle it. So a real long story is talking in the office. I said, he decorates the office here. We own our own office building in Beaver, Pennsylvania, our home office with these big, beautiful mums. And I went and got some mums. They were smaller, little tiny, scratch. They couldn't find any good ones. And I said, well, he went out to Ohio. It was like an hour drive or more away to get them. And I just said to myself, I said, man, I would just love to have a big, beautiful, healthy mum, outdoor. We're in Pittsburgh. When it gets colder, these are the flowers you can put outside that last the longest. I said, I would just like to have a mum flower that I could put outside, a big, beautiful purple one. And Renee said, I just like to have a big, beautiful yellow and white mum. Just love to have that. 2 days later, get a text. Renee gets a text from her friend, says, go out on your front porch. Says, what are you talking about? You're out there? No, I'm not out there. She goes out in the front porch. She said, Papi, you got to come out and take a look at this. We had our little scraggly mum out there, and there's a giant purple mum, and there's another giant mum that's yellow with white in the middle of it. Her best friend, Karen, said, I was out and about, and you just came across my mind. And I said, I'm going to do something. I saw these mums, and I figured I'd get you guys both one. She dropped them off. I mean, obviously wasn't asked anything. That's a very small thing.
Right.
What Buddha was talking about, you become what you think, you attract what you feel, you create what you imagine. These vibrations are coming out. It's like you're holding your cell phone right here. And anyone else at that level with their cell phone, that's who's going to meet. That's who's going to match. That's who's going to provide an opportunity, a resource, be your partner in business. They could be from Japan, Alaska. Doesn't matter. Trust me. Start to pay attention. It's all around. Your thoughts create everything. Your emotions and your feelings are the secret sauce on top. And then you get to perform inspired, efficient, joyful action. But inspired action, that's what brings it to you and seals the deal. Then it's in your hand, guaranteed.
Well, and you brought something up really neat, that people, regardless of where they're located in the world, and what I love about your work is I think you've done work across six countries. Is that correct?
Yeah, working on Antarctica. Yeah, not much down.
Yeah. Well, is there something, is there a common thread, or is there a reoccurring problem that you see that holds people back across all the world, the globe?
Yeah, it's just, you're not being told by any outside source on average that you are special, that you have special ability, that you have special powers, that you alone, yourself, can accomplish anything you can imagine. And I just appeal to folks. Again, I say 100% pure spirituality, neutral to religion. And I tell folks if spirituality is too much, I'm coming to you from perspective 100% pure energy. Nikola Tesla was walking out of a building, and a young gentleman came up to him and said, Mr. Tesla, Mr. Nikola Tesla, I think you're the smartest person on earth. What do I need to know to be successful here on earth and be successful and understand this place, understand the universe? Like, how does it work? What do I need to know to be successful? Nikola Tesla said, young man, if you want to know what it takes to be successful, you need to understand three things: energy, vibration, and frequencies. Albert Einstein said, if you match the level of frequency of anything, it must be delivered unto you. It is not philosophy. This is physics. That's the way the universe works. This universe is about math and music as well. There's a lot in music, but it's about math. When you get to the highest degree of science, you'll meet the highest degree of spirituality, and you're all right there. The secret to the universe, once you understand how it works. But we live in a thought world, within a thought universe. Vibration, everything is vibrating. Universal law of divine oneness, universal law of belief, of faith, of compensation, of vibration, of law of attraction, the law of cause and effect, also known as the law of karma. This is all out there. Understand what these laws are. And then after that, it's 2 + 2, whatever you want to go for. It makes more sense, and it's fairer than you could ever imagine. But the least of our brothers and sisters, because I reach out to the universe all the time, and I'll say, now this family, they're in Kenya, Africa, or they're in Ecuador, they're in outside of some little area in India. Can they reach? The universe says any one of our brothers and sisters can 10x their life and achieve what they, by their own definition, would call prosperity. It's available to all of us. It may be mental wellness, it may be physical health, love, relationships, experiences, what have you. but it is achievable to each and every one of our brothers and sisters.
Amazing.
No one's
Well,
telling you that. They're telling you the exact opposite.
no,
That's what all the
exactly.
media, yes, that's what all the media is for, to take you off your game. Exactly.
You need good news media revamp, exactly.
Yes.
Keep
Yes.
it down. Well, another great member audience question. Enoch Kumi asks, what mindset practices do you recommend for entrepreneurs in today's fast-changing environment?
Yes, I recommend, and one of the things I'm doing, Danielle, is I have a 28-day manifesting accelerator. It's my online coaching course, and I'm making it available to all of the attendees today, the first 7 days for free, so they
Nice.
can test it out. So the first 7 days
Ah,
are free, and you'll get a feel for it. I can tell you what I'm attempting to do today, and what I did in my 28-day course is
yes,
take the 7 decades I've been on Earth and
yes.
condense that down. And I've taken the greatest ideas from Andrew Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, Bob Proctor, Neville Goddard, Dolores Cannon, you name it, U.S. Anderson, you name it, across the board, and deliver these in bite-size, common sense, easy to do. One thing I will say, Danielle, it's all about that manifesting lifestyle. People ask me all the time, say, Pappy, man, what's this going to take me an extra hour every day? It will take you no more time. And as you get more organized, when you're going to your subconscious mind and taking out bad habits and putting in good habits, then it will even take you less time than you're spending right now on your day. You will not have to quote unquote work on this. It will naturally flow to you. You'll be in harmony, alignment, and flow, and you won't have to be worried about digging yourself out of this negative energy all the time.
I love that you have made it digestible and you've
There,
taken
yeah,
so
that's my
much.
goal.
You are carrying
That's
that.
my goal.
Incredible. Well, and Enoch, I appreciate the question, just about entrepreneurs. I am, an entrepreneur. I'm a mother of three. It's busy, it's noisy, but I like that you make these things practical. And so kind of in the family life, are there family practices and things that people can carry out in their day-to-day solutions?
Yeah, just I have a simple coin, not a simple coin, but I call it my Vega coin. I made up years and years ago. It's a Vega, VEGGA, visualize with emotion your goal in gratitude and take action. So even if we think about gratitude, and I was so happy you mentioned it earlier in the show today, Danielle, our brothers and sisters, the universe loves you. I believe in you 100%. Gratitude is one of the easiest hacks that you can start to do immediately. Gratitude is Gratitude vibrates at exactly the same vibration and frequency as abundance. You want to get into abundance for whatever you want to do. You give authentic, genuine, humble gratitude, and it must, by universal law, it's not an if, it's only a when. It must be delivered to you. But again, what did I say? Genuine, humble, authentic. You give gratitude for the roof over your head, the clothes on your back, the food on your table. The universe says, I am going to keep that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It will be sent to you. Now, you're allowed to ask for a nicer car. It could be the most expensive car you ever had. You're genuine, authentic. You express that gratitude. It's so powerful. So visualizing is our most powerful sense. If you visualize, that's one of my most powerful ones. That's sort of like my go-to. But visualize what it is. When you visualize, even just take 2 or 3 minutes, 4 minutes, when you're
Yeah.
first waking up, right before you go to sleep at night, visualize and apply emotion. You want to think about a new dream home or vacation home. You want to have some details. What does it look like? Where you're at? You're in the backyard. Your family and friends are there. There's food cooking on the grill. What does it smell like? What do you hear in the background? How does that wind feel upon your face? Pull all of your senses in as if you're there. If you can think it in your mind, you apply emotion and feelings to it. You take action, but immerse yourself into it, and it must come into your life. But both good or bad. So we got to really be careful. There's a lot more negative thoughts out there. My brothers and sisters, I cancel and reject all day long. I
Yeah.
cancel reject. Kim was just on a meeting with me a little bit ago. She was almost laughing because this person was like negative, negative. And I'm saying things and this thing going back and forth. I'm canceling and rejecting.
A
But you
shield.
can't, yeah, you can't let that come in. If someone says, I teach a class in Kenya with the students there at the Freehold School in Nakuru, Kenya, there's about 1,300 students or so. They're 13, 14, 15 years old. I say, can you please raise your hand if you've ever heard you will never be successful because you were born in Africa or because you were born in Kenya? Danielle, every single hand goes up every time. I say, we're done with that. Never again do you ever allow anyone to say that without you saying, I cancel, I reject, no, or I refuse to participate. You don't put any emotion into it. You just summarily reject it. You are the king and the queen. My brothers and sisters, everyone listening, your subconscious mind, the most powerful force on earth, is an auto suggestion. That's a suggestion from yourself to yourself. That's what prayers are. You're thinking about something and you are applying emotion to it. It's a suggestion from yourself to yourself, what you're saying. Affirmations, intentions are the average human being, Daniel, has no idea, not even a minute fraction of how powerful they are. The kingdom truly lives inside of every one of our fellow brothers and sisters. And this is how you access it. The universe, the creator, would never say, Danielle, you know what? Once you get $100,000 saved up in your savings account, then give me a call, Danielle. I'll start working with you. Hey, Madison, once you buy your first car, then I'll talk to you. Other than that, I'm not going to listen to you. The creator would never say that. It would say, with nothing, without even a shirt on your back, I am giving you the ability inside of you to manifest, as in create, anything you can imagine. We all have this ability. So my rest of my life is devoted to those 4+ billion brothers and sisters earning less than $5 per day. And then also to brothers and sisters say, Papi, let's partner up, one way, shape, or form. I want to pass this on through a mastermind or through a customized retreat, something like that. Because one thing I love about your audience, I've met so many of your clients, your members of your audience who love giving back and paying it forward. So it's like popping popcorn. I'm talking to so many of your audience members. So thank you so much. I really appreciate our conversation today.
And the more you give, the more it's just the ripple effect.
Yes.
So
It's going to, yeah. You don't do it for that reason, but the more you give, exactly, with an open heart, with no expectation, the more it's coming back to you.
Yes. Well, and one of our audience members, I know I'm going to butcher the name, Shafak, says, love it. Gratitude frequency matches abundance, attract blessings of God. And I just, to speak to your point, in going to gratitude for that necessary grounding, it's so powerful. At the end of the day, the negative energy seeps in. I'm tired. It's been long. I hear the nagging voices. The moment you flip that around, you think what you're grateful for. And so my favorite quote, and it always changes my mindset, is gratitude turns what we have into enough. And it's it. Like,
Yes.
It's
The
beautiful.
secret sauce, the Matt. Yeah, that is, and immediately, like snapping your fingers with gratitude, genuine, authentic, humble gratitude. You are right on that frequency of abundance for whatever you're asking for.
And so with your Vega coin, is that something you carry in your pocket and just
Yeah.
have that physical? I love that.
Yes, I have it there. And when I touch it, like there's times throughout the day and I'm thinking about it. So it's tied into my Faith 10X goal. So, anchors like that are good to have. And I talk about those in a 28-day course, but I've got it laid out. So the first 7 days are base building, because a lot of people sort of want to jump in. Let me start doing affirmations, and I'm just going to read an affirmation book, or I'm going to write things out for 333. Or, I do a 333 throughout the day, but whatever it is. But, build a base and understand how this universe works. Then you have some confidence. Then for the next 21 days, the final 21 days, I give a specific coaching tip every single day. And these are common sense. I would say easy to do. It's just all about getting rid of bad habits, bringing these good habits in. And when you start to see your life change, you can change your life so much within a course of a year, in less than 5 years, to the good side. You won't even recognize yourself from where you were less than 5 years prior, which you'll be able to accomplish.
Well, and tell me, what is the time commitment? And do you recommend that all 28 days be done consistently with no breaks? How does it work? And what kind of time? Do you recommend doing it in the morning?
It's go at your own pace. I listen to, one of the things I say, read my book and read it every day, especially when you're starting off, because if you read different teachers, you can get the 5 greatest chefs on earth. I grew up in the restaurant business. You get the 5 greatest chefs on earth. And if you worked with each of those for 1 week, for 5 consecutive weeks, you would be extremely confused at the end, because they all got different techniques and beliefs and everything else. So when I say, read my book, Manifesting, you can imagine, read it every day, I offer it for free. So I think you've got the link that you put out, and you can get that for free, because a lot of our fellow brothers and sisters who I'm coaching, they can't even afford, to buy a book. So I offer it for free. And I say, I listened to a chapter or 2 of my book this morning and one of my podcasts. So I am a walking, talking, living, breathing pep talk. Okay. So I tell people, I got somebody just came up to me at an event a month or 2 ago, and they said, Papi, I want to thank you so much. You've done me so great. You saved my bacon over and over. I was in such a bad place. I'm like, sister, I haven't seen you for over a year. She says, yeah, that's right. And I says, well, just fill me in. I mean, how have I helped you? She said, when I'm having a bad day, I go to social media and I'll watch whatever it takes, 2, 3, 4 of your shorts. And I listen, I'm in a positive message, and it picks me up out of the doldrums that I'm in. I get back to where I'm at and I go on with my day. So it's all about, start to find things in your life. And my fellow brothers and sisters, universe says, keep your inner circle as small as possible. That's what I teach. Very few people, and they all should be vibrating at the same level of you or higher. You're you're a store of energy. And how many of our brothers and sisters, you could just spend 5 minutes with them and you get done with that 5-minute interaction and you are wiped out. They're energy vampires. Your energy, they take all your energy. They're so negative. Like, man, I feel like I got ran over by a bus or something. So you need to protect yourself. You need to protect your energy, protect yourself all day. And again, you start leaning more into the positive flow, getting out of and away from the negative flow. Just get 1% better. If you have 300 days that you win over the next year and 65 days, you could say that I lost. 300 wins, 65 losses. You're having a massive move forward. Right now, for most of our brothers and sisters, they're losing more days than they're winning over the course of the year. You can easily get into the positive territory. And once you get above, it's almost like arm wrestling. Once you get a little bit above that midpoint, you're off to the races. You're going to continue to increase that and find your sweet spot to be able to manifest anything you could imagine.
Well, you definitely have boosted my morale, the group's morale. Enoch actually dropped that after you answered his question about, what entrepreneurs can do. Well, I'm inspired. I just love the way you have taken all of your success and you have dedicated it to giving back and creating more purpose. What are 2 to 3 actions that people can really take to move just from this profit into a greater purpose mentality?
Yes, I mean, you really mentioned it in the question. What action can they take? If you think back to Rhonda Byrne's movie, The Secret, I love The Secret. I watched, I think, dozens of times. Very inspiring. And Rhonda Byrne did a phenomenal job with the book, with the movie, and everything else. But it was very, very underrepresented on action. So we can think these things, we can apply emotion to it, but it is all about taking action. And I teach, Danielle, just even 3 most important experiences per day. Write down your 3 most important experiences that you want to accomplish tomorrow: a face-to-face meeting, a virtual meeting, even sending an email, even just making a phone call. And you start to knock those out and you start to reflect at the end of the day, was I the new 10x version of myself? You will start to increase yourself. It'll be 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 1 step back. You will start to have steady progress. What happens is our subconscious mind, our hardware and operating system in this bowl in here has a virus. Our brothers and sisters, I love all you dearly, but from all of this information that came in that you didn't cancel, reject, especially the first 7 years on earth, there was no dome on top to protect you to say, I cancel and I reject. No conscious mind. Everything you heard. And I joke around all the time. I say, my dad came from a family of 13, a big Italian family. And I joke around, I say this, like my crazy Italian aunts and uncles, the stuff they said, I'm thinking, man, when I was around up till 6 years old, that all went in my head. I'm like, they were pretty wild, very mercurial personalities, very emotional people. And I'm saying they were Italian. Those are my aunts and uncles. So, that came in unguarded for the first 7 years of your life. How much were you guarding your subconscious mind when you were 8 years old or 9 years old? These students in Kenya, 13, 14, 15, they're in these negative comments. So it is all about, we can't start going up until we stop going down. So let's put the brakes on, start protecting ourselves, level out. Then we start to build that base going forward. And it may seem like these small incrementals, getting 1% better. I can guarantee you, whether it has to do with business, entrepreneurship, paying it forward, health, relationships, you will have a quantum leap. You can easily reinvent yourself, but it's all about your mindset. It's all about your mindset. That's what this is all about.
Well, I'm going to be selfish and ask another personal question because I showed you the list. I'm a big list taker and I'm ambitious. I've got dreams, goals, but and I'm visual, so I like to have it there. But I find if I don't meet those, sometimes I get down on myself. And so I found that, giving myself grace has become an important practice. Do you have any suggestions or guidance around what I'm doing or how I can become 1% better at it?
Yeah. So one thing there is, and that's why I mentioned again, I talk about your 3 most important tasks and your
Yes.
sixth most important task. So I get brothers and sisters, I don't know if I can say like yourself, Danielle, but they'll kind of like, Pappy, man, I got 44 things on my to-do list today. Well, how many did you get done, Danielle? I got 41 done. And how do you feel about that? Well, I'm really despondent that I didn't do these last three. So if you just do your three most important tasks per day, maybe up to six, and you set these little intentions throughout the day.
Yeah.
Whenever you're driving, you leave your home, from the time I step a foot out of my house to the time I step a foot in my office, whether you're driving, taking a bus, train, public transportation, let's say you're driving, I'm setting my intention that the safest, happiest, worry-free, risk-free, stress-free drive possible. I arrive safely. My fellow brothers and sisters around me drive safely. I want it and I expect it. I bless and I thank you. Look up Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou's on the Table of Humanity. Her famous quote is, you have to ask. A lot of our brothers and sisters, Daniel, are very self-conscious. Like, I don't feel I'm worthy. I can't really ask for this. I'm going to be timid when no, you got to put your big boy pants on, put your big girl pants on and ask for it. And then what else do you do? We said about how powerful gratitude is. The secret here is not just giving gratitude and being at the level of abundance. You want to be embraced by source and by the universe. I say universal subconscious mind. Give gratitude for what your goal is in advance. Before you've actually received in the 3D world, you are off to the races. The universe loves gratitude is given, and you being 100% confident as if you are already holding it in your 3D hand in advance of you receiving it. It's coming all the much faster, better, bigger, bolder, etc. So yes, my fellow brothers says, just believe me, however much power that you think you have inside you, however much talent, however many gifts, it is beyond your comprehension how powerful you are, and you've got access within you to all knowledge and all power of all time. It is inside you. To universal subconscious mind is whispering in your day all day long. Your higher self, turn left, don't turn right. Just do 4 things. Don't try to do 34 all day long. When you get in touch with your subconscious mind, like Albert Einstein did, Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison, etc., and you start to receive that information, it's the best, most correct answer every single time. You're off to the races. You don't have to get many home runs like that. Important variables in your life that you answer 100% correctly, make the right decision. You're off to the races.
So this is also something that, you spoke about earlier, having the line, which I appreciate, that HWL, HR, and S. And it helps you balance those goals, because what I found, we sometimes get so fixated on one element. And my husband uses this analogy. He's like, imagine you have 3 sports cars in the garage. He's like, well, I was, racing one every day while I built business. But when I stepped away, it was like, well, who is Warren and what does Warren really love? And he's like, I neglected those other cars. So I think not having that intention and focusing, but making sure that that balance, that line is in place where
Balance.
you're giving the needed energy to all aspects of your health, wealth, and
Yes. You
happiness.
said the key word, balance. Yes. Universal law of balance. That's at the very top. Universal law of balance. Exactly.
Well, we have one last audience question,
Yes.
and Anna Annette, whom I love, always shows up with great questions. She asks, what do you love most about what you do?
What I love most is helping my fellow brothers and sisters when you're talking to someone and when they have no hope. And that was a look in my Italian grandma's eyes when I was 6 years old in her kitchen, that little steel mill town in Midland, Pennsylvania. And you're talking to brothers and sisters who have no hope, and you see that first sparkle, that first twinkle in their eyes. I was giving a presentation like this in Africa. A gentleman said, Pappy, he came in about 40 minutes with a question. They let him come on. He came in at the end. He says, Pappy, I never heard of this my entire life. He said, but you've inspired me that I'm going to 10X my life. He said, I got a 10X goal right now. And I said, what's your 10X goal, brother? He says, Pappy, right now I don't have a bed. He says, I sleep on a piece of cardboard. That's my bed. And I sleep outside. He said, my faith 10X goal that came through me while you're talking, I'm going to find a bed, a thicker piece of cardboard, something with a little bit of cushion, and I'm going to find a roof somewhere. It's probably going to be outside, but at least I'll have a roof over my head. That's my faith 10X goal. So what do we take for granted, Danielle? Us, a lot of times, we're all sleeping on a pretty nice bed, right? We've all got a pretty nice roof over our head. When you see our brothers and sisters, so I say, we're going to 10X your life. If you have 10 cents to start off with, we're going from 10 cents to $1. We go from $1 to $10, $10 to 100. We're going to get whatever you can be: health, wealth, love, happiness, relationships, experiences, spirituality. But again, as you said, balance. Once you start to understand all of this, not just
Yes.
solely like in the wealth category or something like that, how important our health is, our mental wellness, and everything else,
Yes.
love and treating our fellow brothers and sisters with love, what's truly important.
I love that. Bring that sparkle back into everyone's eyes and let them.
Yes, that's a word. Yes.
Amazing. Well, I know, Pappy, that I discovered you through one of our amazing
Yes.
mutual friends, Corey Warfield, and he introduced us through LinkedIn. But I heard you mention also, TikTok. Where can we follow your work? Where can we learn more?
Yes.
Those who really want to partner and be a part of what you're doing.
Yeah, so it's to the mass audience, so to speak, across 6 continents, and then again, just started my social media a little bit over a year ago, and we're just about ready to pass through 250,000 followers.
Amazing.
But yeah, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, our business channel, which I've always had LinkedIn, but I just really only started to focus on that because I wanted to get everything else organized about 30 days ago. But for business owners, entrepreneurs, LinkedIn is a good place to follow. And then also, but any of the other regular social media channels. And then, like I said, you can just listen. You're getting, excuse my French, but a lot of garbage is coming at you all day long. Here's something positive and something that's speaking universal truth. And you'll decide, you'll know your fellow brothers. As I say, to follow me until you find one of two things not to be true. Either I'm lying or I don't know what I'm talking about. Neither of those you'll ever find to be true because they're never going to be true. I'm here to help our fellow brothers and sisters, anyone who is on this wonderful virtual meeting today, and or anyone that they can think of. Hey, other groups, organizations, or their family, or anything else to reach out to for the things that I believe really are very important. All those areas we've talked about a number of times.
Incredible. We all need to unlock that power that's within, and it's been
Yes.
an incredible hour. I'm filled with gratitude. I'm filled with encouragement and motivation and positivity.
Yes.
So this has just been awesome. And for all those listening, thank you. You're what makes it fun. I love the energy you all bring, the questions, the participation.
Yes.
And as a thank you from us at Family Office Access, if anyone is interested in learning more about our platform, joining our community, we have a special promo. I believe Madison from our team just dropped it in the chat for 20% off through the end of the month. We also are really excited to share with the recording the free book, which I listen to it in the car. It's amazing. Our whole family now. I'm so happy and grateful and fill in the blank. Seriously, it starts the day wonderfully. I love it. And then as well, the free 7-day challenge, which sign me up. I'm ready for 28 days of this. So so thank you everyone for joining. Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so much.
Pappy. And until next time.
Yes. Thank you so much. Namaste. Thank you so much. What a wonderful day. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you.